In a world where the unnoticed often go unappreciated, a humble janitor's unwavering commitment captured the attention of Barron Trump, leading to a remarkable turn of events that transformed everything. As dawn's first light crept over the horizon, Ronald James eased his weary sedan into a secluded spot in the distant reaches of the Oxbridge Academy parking lot. He consistently selected that particular spot, tucked away from the hustle and bustle, as if to keep the vehicle's worn paint and battered bumper from the prying eyes of passers-by. With a last sputter, the engine fell silent, and Ronald let out a heavy sigh, his hands tightening around the steering wheel for just a moment. Another day unfolds, bringing with it the opportunity to weave together the threads of survival. With a firm grip, he lifted his thermos from the passenger seat, offering a soft pat to the dashboard, a silent gesture of gratitude to the car for enduring yet another day, before stepping out into the world. The dawn air held a refreshing chill, and the world remained hushed, save for the gentle chirping of birds and the far-off growl of a delivery truck. Oxbridge Academy was awakening gradually, and Ronald found comfort in that rhythm. In that fleeting moment, tranquility enveloped him, a brief respite before the whirlwind of the day unfolded. As he maneuvered his faithful cleaning cart through the silent hallways, a swell of pride filled his heart. The floors sparkled brilliantly beneath the overhead lights, a testament to his unwavering attention to detail. He understood that the majority remained oblivious, yet that held no significance for him. For Ronald, the essence lay not in accolades, but in the pursuit of excellence in his craft. In every classroom, down every hallway, and even by every trash can, he approached them all with a steadfast and quiet dedication. To the students, Ronald was just Mr. James, the janitor who always had a kind word or a warm smile at the ready. He was well acquainted with their names, their preferred sports, and even the little idiosyncrasies that made each of them unique. "Greetings, Marcus, on this fine morning. How is your science project unfolding? Greetings, Jenny. I witnessed the remarkable goal you netted yesterday." Remarkable. Despite the wariness that clung to him after endless hours of scrubbing and mopping, his kindness remained unwavering. Yet beyond these confines, existence lacked the sheen of perfection. Ronald had encountered trials that would leave many in awe. In a quaint little town nestled in Florida, he spent his formative years, where chances to thrive were scarce and elusive. 10 years ago, the loss of his wife to cancer struck him with a pain that was unparalleled. In an instant, he found himself embodying both parents for their 2 children, skillfully balancing the responsibilities of provider, caretaker, and disciplinarian. He toiled tirelessly, ensuring that there was always nourishment on the table and shelter above their heads, putting aside his own ease to provide his children with the opportunity for a brighter tomorrow. The aged sedan stood as a constant testament to the sacrifices made along the way. Its engine coughed and wheezed, a fickle companion on the road, turning each journey into a thrilling game of chance. On certain mornings, it stubbornly refused to awaken, leaving Ronald to navigate a tapestry of borrowed rides and lengthy strolls. Yet, he always kept his spirit alight, unyielding to the shadows that sought to dim it. With each passing moment, he whispered to himself, tightening his grip on the steering wheel, urging the car forward into the journey ahead. In the face of his own struggles, Ronald remained steadfast in his focus on what truly mattered. His children were the center of his universe, and every action he took was driven by his love for them. He envisioned their triumphs, achievements that eluded him, and that vision fueled his spirit, propelling him forward through the toughest of times. Little did he know, Ronald's steadfast spirit and gentle heart had captured the attention of those around him. Among the students, one stood out: Barron Trump, who was keenly observing everything around him. To many, Barron appeared as just another student at Oxbridge, quiet and somewhat timid, yet consistently courteous. Yet, beneath his calm exterior lay a keen perception and a profound understanding of others' feelings. Barron observed the world with a keen eye, noticing details that eluded others, and recently his attention had turned to Mr. James. It began with subtle details, the way Ronald greeted each person with a warm smile, even when fatigue lingered in his eyes, the meticulous approach he took in his tasks, ensuring every nuance was just right, and those fleeting instances when he believed he was unseen, like the moment Barron caught him fixing a broken locker handle before a student even had the chance to mention it. Mr. James possessed an intriguing quality that captivated Barron, igniting a desire within him to uncover the layers of his story. Yet, Ronald remained blissfully unaware that his humble gestures of goodwill were on the brink of igniting an extraordinary chain of events, a moment destined to transform his life in ways he could never have imagined. Barron Trump had always stood apart from the other students at Oxbridge Academy. As his peers engaged in lively discussions about the latest trends, compared extravagant vacations, or debated whose family possessed the finer automobile, Barron frequently positioned himself on the outskirts, quietly observing the scene unfold. He was not lacking in interest, rather, he was deep in contemplation. From a young age, he embraced the belief that every individual's journey held significance. He became attuned to the nuances of human experience, observing not only the spoken words, but also the actions, the challenges, and the subtle details that frequently slipped under the radar. In a serene moment of quiet observation, Barron began to truly take notice of Mr. James for the first time. To the majority of the students, the janitor was a mere shadow, a presence that blended seamlessly into the tapestry of the school. Yet, to Barron, Ronald James was truly remarkable. He noticed how Mr. James consistently made his entrance before anyone else, a coffee thermos cradled in his hand, the gentle rattle of his cleaning cart echoing through the hallways as he moved with purpose. He observed the meticulous attention Ronald devoted to his work, as he wiped down desks, polished floors, and transformed the school into a place that felt more like a second home than merely a structure. Initially, Barron brushed it off without a second thought. It was merely Mr. James, going about his duties, wasn't it? One fateful day, as Barron lingered outside, anticipation hanging in the air for his ride after school, he witnessed something that would forever linger in his mind. In the dim light of the parking lot, Mr. James leaned over the hood of his car, a collection of tools scattered around him like a painter's palette, ready to create something new. Once more, his weary sedan had come to a halt, wisps of smoke curling gently from the engine. With sleeves rolled up and hands stained with grease, Ronald toiled away, undeterred by the relentless Florida sun that bore down upon him. As the car coughed and roared back to life, Barron observed Ronald, who, with a weary sigh, wiped the sweat from his brow with a rag, murmuring a few words to himself before settling into the driver's seat. The vision lingered in his mind. As Barron observed, a multitude of questions began to swirl in his mind. What could have led Mr. James to steer a car that seemed to struggle with every turn? What was his secret to arriving each day with that unwavering warm smile and gentle words, even in the face of what seemed like unending challenges? On a fateful afternoon, Barron mustered his courage to step forward and engage with him. He found Ronald by the lockers, diligently repairing a broken hinge that had gone unnoticed by everyone else. "Greetings, Mr. James," Barron uttered with a hint of uncertainty. "Seeking assistance?" Ronald looked up, taken aback. Greetings to you, young fellow," he exclaimed with a twinkle in his eye. "I believe I have it under control, but thank you for your kind offer." Barron stayed close, his gaze fixed on Ronald as he completed the repair with careful precision. "You have a knack for mending everything," Barron remarked after a moment of reflection. "Have you ever grown weary of it?" Ronald's laughter resonated, a rich and heartfelt sound that echoed the depth of his experiences. Indeed, but it seems the mantle falls upon someone, does it not? Moreover, there's a certain joy in breathing life back into something that once faltered. That conversation marked the beginning of an unfolding tale. As the days passed, Barron found himself uncovering more layers of Mr. James's character. He discovered the aspirations of his two children. His son envisioned a future as a mechanical engineer, while his daughter aspired to be a teacher. He listened to tales of Ronald's late wife, the great love of his life, and how her absence had molded him into the man he had become. Ronald, a man of few words, never voiced his grievances, yet Barron could sense the weariness woven into his tone, the quiet echoes of the daily sacrifices he embraced to care for his loved ones. One day, Barron posed the question that had lingered in his thoughts since that fateful moment in the parking lot. "Mr. James, have you ever considered acquiring a new car? That one seems to be on the verge of surrendering to you." Ronald let out a soft laugh, a smile playing on his lips as he shook his head in amusement. A new car, is it? How intriguing. Ah, you see, Baron, those things come with a price, and alas, my pockets aren't overflowing with coin. Ultimately, as long as it carries me to my destination, that's all that matters to me. Yet Barron found it impossible to dispel the lingering thought. As he delved deeper into the life of Mr. James, he began to sense the profound significance of his narrative. Ronald James was more than a mere janitor. He was a guiding figure, a source of wisdom, and a quiet champion of the school. With a gentle spirit, he infused his soul into every endeavor, seeking no reward in exchange. It felt off to Barron. He understood that he couldn't unravel every single one of Ronald's dilemmas. Yet, perhaps, just perhaps, there was a chance for him to weave a thread of ease into the fabric of his life. As the evening unfolded around the dinner table, Barron seized the moment to share his thoughts with his parents. "Have you heard about Mr. James, the janitor at school?" he inquired, absent-mindedly maneuvering his meal across the plate. With a gentle nod, his father acknowledged the moment. "The individual who wears a perpetual grin? Indeed, I have encountered him." Barron placed his fork on the table, a weighty look crossing his face. "It seems to me that extending our hand to him would be the right course of action. His car struggles to keep going, yet he pours his heart and soul into supporting everyone at school. He never seeks a single thing. Yet, he is worthy of so much more." His mother tilted her head, observing him with keen interest. "What thoughts are swirling in your mind, Barron?" Barron paused, a flicker of uncertainty crossing his face before he finally found his voice. "I wish to gift him a car. A source of unwavering trust. Something he can leave be, allowing him to focus on the journey ahead without the burden of constant repairs." His parents shared a knowing look. "That's quite a significant gesture, my boy," his father remarked with a measured tone. "Have you crafted a tale of what comes next?" "I will find a way," Barron declared, his tone unwavering. "He has given so much to each of us, and I cannot simply remain idle while others take action." Yet, with all the resolve that Barron possessed, there was one truth he held close to his heart. He knew he needed companions for this journey. Once the notion of aiding Mr. James blossomed, Barron found himself unable to shake it off. With each glimpse of the janitor diligently mopping the floors or repairing the broken lockers, a deepening sense of urgency welled up within him. Yet, this was no ordinary endeavor. Acquiring a car was not a decision a teenager could make lightly. In that moment, he realized a strategy was essential, but even more crucial was the support of others. Barron began his journey by engaging in conversation with his parents once more. "I want this to be a shared experience," he shared one evening over dinner. "It ought to resonate with each and every person at the school. Mr. James has woven his influence into the fabric of many lives here. It would carry greater significance if we all contributed together." His father reclined, a thoughtful nod gracing his features. "Indeed, you are correct. This goes beyond mere financial matters. It's a tale of expressing the depth of his value. Engaging others is essential, my friend. Educators, learners, personnel. Are you prepared for that journey?" Barron paused briefly, then gave a nod of agreement. "I shall embark on any journey necessary." With the dawn of a new day, Barron began to weave the threads of his plan into reality. He leaned in close to a handful of trusted classmates, weaving his idea into the air with quiet urgency as they gathered around the lunch table. "Ah, you're familiar with Mr. James, aren't you? The keeper of the keys." He started to explore the possibilities. Indeed, one of his companions remarked, "He's truly remarkable." "What is the reason behind it?" Barron leaned in, his voice a whisper filled with intrigue. "I wish to gift him a new car. His world is crumbling, yet he toils tirelessly for each one of us. It seems the moment has come for us to take action on his behalf." The first responses danced between astonishment and thrill. "That's monumental," one friend remarked. "How shall we weave that tale into reality?" "We'll find a way," Barron responded. "I seek only a little from those around me. Simply whatever they are willing to share. When we each contribute, no matter how small, it creates a powerful collective impact." Whispers started to weave through the air. Barron shared his vision with teachers, coaches, and the school counselor, weaving together his thoughts and aspirations. The feedback was nothing short of enthusiastic. One teacher remarked on Mr. James's tireless dedication, discreetly handing Barron a $50 bill as a token of appreciation. "I'm all in." Yet Barron understood that despite the collective efforts of all, the price of a new car remained dauntingly high. At that moment, his parents made their entrance. A local car dealership received a call from his father, who shared the unfolding situation. Moved by the tale, the dealership manager decided to offer a brand new red Jeep SUV at a remarkable discount. "We'll take care of everything else," Barron's father declared. "Concentrate on crafting a memorable experience just for him." With the car firmly in place, the anticipation grew as the moment of revelation approached. Barron yearned for it to be a moment that would linger in Mr. James's memory forever. Following a lively exchange of ideas with his friends and teachers, they settled on the upcoming Friday assembly as the perfect backdrop for their grand surprise. It was nothing short of perfection. All would gather, and they could unveil the gift before the whole school. The preparations surged forward with fervor. A group of students crafted a magnificent banner that proclaimed, "Thank you, Mr. James." In vibrant hues of the school's colors, they adorned it with heartfelt messages of appreciation. In the shadows, teachers wove their plans with care, orchestrating every detail to ensure Ronald arrived at the assembly blissfully unaware of the surprise awaiting him. Barron immersed himself in his speech late into the night, wandering his room as he carefully crafted the words that he wished would capture the profound impact Mr. James had on everyone around him. With each passing day, the anticipation within the school swelled like a tide, filling the air with a palpable energy. In hushed tones, students exchanged glances and murmured about the scheme as they navigated the hallways, ever mindful of Mr. James lurking nearby. Even the staff became part of the tale, adding to the fun and recounting how Ronald had illuminated their days with his warmth. One teacher reminisced about a time he stayed late to assist in the search for a student's lost backpack. Though it wasn't necessary, he chose to do it regardless. As Thursday afternoon approached, all preparations were complete. There it was, the car, tucked away in the shadows of the gym, its surface sparkling like a jewel under the warm embrace of the sun. The banners swayed gently in the breeze, the speeches polished to perfection, and every detail woven together with care and intention. As the momentous occasion drew near, Barron felt a restless excitement stirring within him. What if it unfolds differently than I envisioned? That evening, he turned to his mother, his voice laced with uncertainty. With a gentle smile, she rested her hand upon his shoulder. "Barron, there's more to this than the car itself. It's about revealing the depth of his worth, a message so clear that it leaves no room for misinterpretation." As Friday morning dawned, a vibrant energy pulsed through Oxbridge Academy. As the students entered the auditorium, a palpable excitement filled the air, each whisper and laugh weaving a tapestry of eager expectation. Barron lingered in the shadows behind the curtain, gripping his note cards tightly, inhaling deeply to calm his racing heart. As he cast his gaze over the gathering, his eyes landed on Mr. James, who was settling into a seat at the rear, exuding an air of quiet modesty that was all too familiar. The sight ignited a fire within Barron, guiding him toward his destiny. This was more than merely a vehicle. It was a tale of reverence for a man who had selflessly poured his heart into the lives of others, never seeking a reward for his generosity. As the curtains lifted and a hush enveloped the room, Barron pondered deeply. Would Mr. James ever grasp the profound significance he held in their lives? On that Friday morning, Ronald James awoke to a world that seemed just like any other, the familiar rhythm of life unfolding around him. The air was crisp as he guided his trusty old sedan into its familiar resting place at the far end of the Oxbridge Academy parking lot. The engine wheezed and groaned, its final breath escaping in a sputtering halt. Ronald paused, inhaling deeply, gathering his thoughts as he braced himself for the long day that lay before him. Each dawn unfolded with a familiar rhythm. With mop buckets at the ready, the floors await a gleaming polish, and the classrooms call for a gentle touch of tidiness. He cherished the cadence of it, however. He embraced hard work with unwavering resolve. He had a unique method of maintaining order, a refuge from the chaos that swirled beyond the school walls. Yet today held a secret, one that Ronald had yet to uncover. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, Ronald pushed his cleaning cart along the hallway, when suddenly the headmaster's voice echoed through the intercom. "Greetings to all, students and staff alike. Gather round, everyone. A special assembly awaits you in the auditorium. Don't miss it. We eagerly anticipate your presence at the gathering." Ronald hardly took note of the proclamation. At Oxbridge Academy, assemblies were a frequent occurrence, yet they rarely included him in their narratives. He decided to adhere to his usual routine, perhaps seize the opportunity to tackle some maintenance tasks while the building basked in its tranquil stillness. Yet, just then, a teacher came forth, her smile warm and inviting. "It would be delightful if you joined us as well, Mr. James. Prepare yourself for something truly captivating." With a hint of hesitation, he drifted along with the stream of students and staff, all heading toward the auditorium. He quietly eased into the back row, seeking to merge with the throng around him. The expansive chamber thrummed with a palpable energy, yet Ronald found himself unable to discern the source of the thrill that filled the air. He observed the headmaster ascend the stage, welcomed by a wave of enthusiastic applause. The headmaster addressed the gathering with a few thoughtful words, extending a warm welcome to all, and sharing that today's assembly would venture beyond the usual realms of academics and announcements. It was a moment dedicated to honoring a cherished member of their community. That stirred a spark of curiosity in Ronald, yet he remained in the dark about what lay ahead. As the spotlight illuminated the stage, Barron Trump stepped forward, a stack of note cards clutched in his hands. Ronald was well acquainted with the Baron. He was the reserved, watchful soul who consistently offered a courteous nod as they crossed paths in the corridors. Ronald offered a subtle smile, pondering what remarkable feat the boy had accomplished to earn the spotlight. "Good morning, everyone," Barron began, his voice unwavering yet laced with a hint of feeling. "Today, I stand before you to shine a light on an individual within these walls who truly deserves our applause, a person who enriches this community with their presence each and every day." Ronald adjusted his position, a hint of concern etching itself across his forehead. He cast his gaze about, pondering the identity of the person Barron might be referring to. "I'm speaking of Mr. James," Barron declared, and the room burst into applause. Ronald stood still, utterly taken by surprise. His hands clutched the arms of his chair, eyes fixed intently on the young man performing on stage. Barron beamed at the audience, patiently allowing the clamor to fade before he resumed his tale. "Mr. James is more than merely our janitor. He's the dedicated soul who arrives each morning, ensuring our classrooms shine, our hallways gleam, and our school embraces us like a warm home. He's the one who mends what's in disarray, be it a locker, a dripping faucet, or even our spirits when the day feels heavy." The words crashed over Ronald like a mighty wave. He had always gone about his tasks without seeking gratitude, and the moment someone recognized his efforts so candidly was truly humbling. The lights softened, casting a gentle glow as a video flickered to life on the expansive screen behind Barron. It unfolded like a vivid tapestry of moments, showcasing Ronald in action mopping floors with diligence, mending broken chairs with care, and transporting supplies with purpose. Amidst the narrative, voices of students and staff emerged, recounting the profound impact Ronald had on their lives. One student remarked that he always greets you with a smile. "He remains silent, even when we complicate his tasks," another confessed with a hint of embarrassment. While laughter danced through the audience, Ronald found himself unable to join in the mirth. He stood there, a wave of disbelief washing over him, his throat constricting as he grappled with the unfolding reality. As the final frame flickered away, the audience erupted in a wave of applause, rising to their feet in a chorus of cheers. Barron advanced once more, his voice steady and resolute. "Mr. James, though you seldom seek anything for yourself, we recognize your presence. Your dedication shines through in every effort you make, reflecting the deep care you have for this school and the countless ways you invest yourself in its community. Today, we wish to share a gift with you." With a flourish, Barron pointed to the side of the stage, where the double doors swung wide to unveil a striking red Jeep SUV standing proudly beneath a grand banner that proclaimed, "Thank you, Mr. James." Cheers and applause filled the room, a symphony of joy and excitement. Ronald's jaw fell open, his gaze fixed on the car, his thoughts racing to comprehend the astonishing sight before him. With a warm smile, Barron turned to Mr. James. "This gift comes from the hearts of each one of us, just for you." The focus turned to Ronald, who remained firmly in his seat, unmoving. A teacher softly placed a hand on his shoulder, encouraging him to rise. With a hesitant grace, he lifted himself from the ground, his legs quaking beneath him as he approached the stage. The applause resonated all around, yet Ronald's attention was solely captured by the car and the eager faces of the students and staff who had united to bring this moment to life. As he stepped onto the stage, the Baron gracefully offered him the keys, a moment charged with anticipation. Ronald paused, a flicker of uncertainty crossing his face as he reached out, his hands trembling ever so slightly. He cast a glance at Barron, then surveyed the crowd before returning his gaze to the car. He hesitated, words escaping him like whispers, his voice nearly drowned by the swell of applause surrounding him. He brushed away the tears that had gathered in his eyes. "This wasn't necessary for you to do. I simply carry out my duties." Yet, as the cheers swelled around him, Ronald started to understand that this moment transcended the mere presence of the car. It was a tale of the many lives he had gently influenced, and the community that united to show him that his acts of kindness had not slipped into the shadows. For what seemed like an endless moment, Ronald James remained motionless on stage, his gaze fixed on the shiny red Jeep SUV that sat just a short distance away. The keys felt weighty in his grasp, and the magnitude of the moment bore down on him like a heavy cloak. The room resonated with the vibrant echoes of cheers and applause. Yet, for Ronald, the world around him began to fade into a hazy dream. He found himself engulfed, not merely by the present, but by the deeper meaning it held. With a hesitant step, he advanced, his legs wavering beneath him, as he reached out with a quivering hand to caress the sleek, gleaming surface of the car. The vivid red paint shimmered beneath the stage lights, a striking juxtaposition to the worn sedan he'd abandoned in the parking lot earlier that day. His throat constricted, and as he finally pivoted to confront the crowd, his eyes shimmered with unshed tears. The auditorium fell into a hushed stillness, anticipation hanging in the air as all eyes turned to him, eager to catch his words. Ronald held the microphone with a firm grasp, wrestling with the elusive words that could truly convey the depth of his emotions in that instant. I find myself at a loss for words," he started. This surpasses all my wildest dreams. Your kindness leaves me at a loss for words." He took a moment, inhaling deeply as his eyes swept over the crowd before him. All eyes were upon him, filled with warmth and admiration from students, teachers, and staff alike. "I've always held the belief," he continued, his voice gaining strength, "that kindness is not an act performed for the sake of applause. It's an act born from a sense of duty, a choice made because it resonates with what is just and true. I've endeavored to navigate my journey in this manner, and witnessing all of you unite in such a way fills me with wonder. It carries a significance that transcends my ability to express it." The audience burst into applause once more, yet Ronald lifted a hand, indicating that his tale was far from over. "It's hard to believe that a decade has slipped by since my wife left this world. I never imagined I would experience such joy once more. She was my steadfast companion, my anchor, and her absence created an emptiness in my heart that I believe nothing could ever mend. Yet, with two little ones depending on me, I understood that I must forge ahead, for their sake." His voice quivered just a bit as he pressed on with his tale. "With the dawn of each new day, my thoughts drift to them. They inspire my every effort, fueling my dedication and passion. I wish for them to understand that regardless of the challenges life presents, one must continue to forge ahead. Your generosity knows no bounds, flowing freely even in times of scarcity." He took a moment, his gaze drifting down to the keys he held, contemplating their significance. "And now, thanks to each and every one of you, this remarkable blessing allows me to offer them just a bit more. With a sense of ease, I embark on my journey to work, free from the nagging worry of a potential car breakdown. I can bring my daughter to her dance recital, free from the worry of whether we'll arrive on time. This is more than merely a vehicle. It's a gift, one that will transform our existence in ways beyond your wildest dreams." As tears cascaded down his cheeks, a wave of emotion swept through the audience, with many reaching for tissues to dab at their own misty eyes. Ronald gazed at Barron, his voice gentle yet brimming with appreciation. "Barron, your imagination has woven something truly remarkable here. You witnessed my journey, recognized the passion behind my craft, and chose to bring this vision to life. Its significance surpasses any words I could express." He enveloped Barron in a warm embrace, gripping him firmly as the audience burst into applause once more. As they separated, Ronald pivoted once more towards the microphone. "To all who contributed to this journey, students, teachers, parents, your support has rekindled a truth I nearly overlooked, even amidst life's challenges. Goodness persists in the world. There are always those who hold a deep concern for others." With a gentle gesture, the headmaster advanced, resting a reassuring hand on Ronald's shoulder. "Mr. James, this school is truly fortunate to have you among us. You are woven into the very fabric of this community. In the tapestry of our lives, you are the vibrant thread that binds us all, and today we gather to honor your essence." The thunderous applause that erupted was overwhelming. With exuberance, students leapt onto their chairs, their cheers and applause filling the air, while teachers, moved by the moment, discreetly brushed away tears. Ronald gazed upon the crowd, his heart brimming with a gratitude so deep it seemed to transcend reality. For years he had toiled in silence, convinced that his contributions were overlooked. But today, as he stood on that stage, he understood the profound impact his presence had truly made. As the gathering drew to a close, eager students made their way to the stage, reaching out to shake Ronald's hand, embrace him, or express their gratitude. As the moment unfolded, his children, part of the grand surprise, stepped onto the stage, their faces radiating with pride and joy. "Dad, you truly deserve this," his son said, wrapping an arm around him with warmth and affection. As the crowd slowly faded away, Ronald found a moment of solitude behind the wheel of the Jeep. He glided his hands over the steering wheel, captivated by the sensation of being in a car that was smooth and steady, free from the rattles and groans that once haunted his journeys, a vehicle that felt solid and reliable, as if it were built to last forever. With a gleeful giggle, his daughter hopped into the passenger seat, her eyes sparkling with delight as she discovered the wonders of the new car's features. "This is incredible, Dad," she exclaimed. "It's as if I'm living in a dream." Ronald smiled as the burdens of countless battles started to fade away. "Indeed," he murmured softly, "and it all traces back to them." As Ronald steered his way out of the parking lot later that day, a revelation dawned upon him. The car was merely the prologue to a much larger journey. The true treasure lay in the realization that his efforts, his compassion, and his selflessness had not gone unnoticed. As the assembly drew to a close, the students flowed out of the auditorium, yet a persistent group remained, each one eager for a chance to converse with Mr. James. Some clasped his hand warmly, others embraced him briefly, and a few just offered a heartfelt "Thank you, Mr. James." Before they rushed away, their faces aglow with feeling. Ronald stood near the stage, a wave of emotions washing over him, yet a smile graced his face as his children clung to his sides, their eyes shimmering with pride. A timid sophomore stepped forward, her hands nervously gripping a crumpled piece of notebook paper. "Mr. James," she whispered gently, "I simply wish to present this to you." With a swift motion, she passed him the folded note, then vanished into the throng, leaving him speechless and bewildered. As he opened it, a heartfelt message revealed itself to him. "Your kindness is truly appreciated, and I'm grateful for it always. In moments when I felt like a shadow, your smile shone like a beacon, assuring me that I was truly seen. May today have illuminated the depth of your significance to each and every one of us." Ronald read the note twice, a knot forming in his throat. It was more than the vehicle or the cheers. It was this, the subtle recognition of the small details he believed went unnoticed, that brought him a sense of being truly seen for the first time in ages. As the afternoon sun began to dip, Ronald readied himself to depart, his eyes landing on the red Jeep SUV that stood proudly in the staff parking lot, a vibrant replacement for the weary sedan it had taken the place of. As the sun dipped low in the sky, his children eagerly scrambled into the back seat, their laughter ringing out like music as they discovered each delightful new feature with wide-eyed wonder. "It even smells new," his daughter exclaimed, her fingers gliding over the upholstery with delight. Ronald hesitated at the threshold, casting a lingering glance over his shoulder at the school. The day's events danced in his thoughts, the cheers echoing, the speeches resonating, and Barron's steady voice weaving tales of the profound impact one individual could wield. For years, Ronald had traversed these hallways, diligently tending to his duties, his efforts often unnoticed. Yet today, he discovered that even the smallest gestures of kindness resonate deeply, leaving an indelible impression on the hearts of those around him. As he made his way home, the car glided effortlessly along the road, a stark contrast to the familiar creaks and moans he had grown accustomed to. From the back seat, his son leaned forward, a wide smile lighting up his face. "Dad, this car is incredible, but what truly stands out is the immense love everyone has for you. Truly, their affection for you runs deep." Ronald cast a look at him through the rearview mirror, a warmth blossoming in his chest. "It's not merely about receiving love, my boy. It's about standing firm in your principles, even in solitude. And often, when you least anticipate it, you discover that others have been observing your journey all along." As the sun dipped below the horizon and the day's thrill began to fade, Ronald found himself at the kitchen table, gazing thoughtfully out the window. The red Jeep stood proudly in the driveway, its surface shimmering softly under the fading glow of the setting sun. In the cozy living room, his children were engaged in lively conversation, their voices bubbling with excitement as they shared their weekend plans. After many long years, a deep tranquility washed over Ronald, enveloping him in its gentle embrace. He recalled the note from the student, carefully tucked away in his pocket, and the vivid way Barron had painted his character during the assembly. It transcended the mere vehicle, it embodied a deeper significance. Ronald came to understand that every small act of kindness he had given, without any anticipation of reward, had woven a tapestry of influence that spread far and wide. All eyes were on them, the students, the teachers, and even the parents. They had all taken notice. And today, they had returned a gift that filled him with humility and profound emotion. In the days that followed, whispers of the assembly wove their way beyond the walls of Oxbridge Academy. Students captured the moment on video and shared it across social media, and soon enough, the tale began to spread like wildfire online. Voices from every corner started to chime in on the posts, weaving their own tales of unsung heroes who had touched their lives in profound ways. Ronald found himself in awe of the spotlight, yet filled with gratitude for the opportunity to ignite inspiration in others. Should his tale inspire even a single soul to embrace kindness or express gratitude, then it has fulfilled its purpose. As the day unfolded in his mind, Ronald realized that the true treasure of wisdom lay not in the lesson he had grasped. It was the very one that the students had brought to life through their demonstration. Gratitude possesses the remarkable ability to bring about transformation. It weaves bonds among individuals, elevating them in ways that transcend mere material offerings. A heartfelt recognition of an individual's effort and commitment can ignite a flame that resonates long after the instant has passed. For Ronald, the red Jeep would forever symbolize the warmth of the community that welcomed him, not merely for his actions, but for the essence of his being. For the students, the day unfolded as a vivid illustration of the power found in unity, honoring those who enhance their lives through countless small gestures of kindness. As the sun dipped below the horizon on that memorable day, Ronald settled onto the porch with his children, delighting in their laughter and playful banter as they shared dreams of what was to come. He smiled, aware that the most profound lessons are not found within the confines of classrooms, but are instead woven into the fabric of experiences like this one. "This isn't just about me," he murmured softly, as if sharing a secret with the shadows around him. "This tale weaves together the threads of our shared existence. Kindness spreads like wildfire, and if we nurture it, the possibilities are endless. Let us pause and ponder this tale, inviting ourselves to consider who among us merits a heartfelt thank you, a gentle word, or perhaps even a simple smile. For as we see in Ronald's tale, the tiniest acts can unfold into remarkable experiences. If this tale resonated with you, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more narratives that celebrate the strength of kindness and togetherness. United, we can weave a tapestry where every act of kindness shines brightly, never fading into the shadows. For kindness is not merely a gift, it is a legacy that endures through time.